It's election season, y'all. And so you know what that means. Lies, lies, and more lies. Lies about everything. Lies about the abortion issue for sure. Lies about pregnant women getting abortions, but then, you know, they died. They died because of pro-life laws. Women who miscarried, and then they died because a pro-life law required the dead, sadly passed away fetus to rot in her uterus. And so white Republican men are to blame. It's like the amount of lies. It is so infuriating. But as it turns out, people who murder children don't have a problem with lying. In fact, murderers tend to be pretty good liars, actually. And we're dealing with a murderous agenda and complex called the abortion industry. And really, we're talking about the abortion industrial complex, which includes the Democrat Party, all of the Hollywood and culturally formative institutions that celebrate, fund, and platform and defend abortion. It's all one big cabal. It's all murderous. So naturally, you've got to lie about it, because we can never allow a semi-moderate pro-choice Republican named Trump to get elected. We're going to get into some of these lies right now, because I need your help to counter these lies, to push back, to post on social media, to share the videos debunking the lies, to tell your friends, coworkers, loved ones, get out there, spread the truth, because if Kamala Harris becomes president, unborn children will be targeted for murder like the Jews were by Hitler. Welcome to the Seth Gruber Show. So there's a lot of lies that are told about the abortion issue, but every election season, there's like very specific ones. And then they really get platformed. They really get elevated because they're very useful to what? To smear your political opponent, right? And to win votes for yourself, but to create so much fear in the heart of your voters about that other candidate, that like, is what they said about him true? He's helping pregnant women die? Oh my gosh, I don't want pregnant women to die. What if that was my sister or aunt? Like, you know, it's so ridiculous. And so we're going to debunk some of those right now. I think there's like 4 main ones probably that are taking off like insane right now. So much so that I occasionally get a pro-life person, actually, like who I, kind of think is pretty sharp. I'll get pro-lifers asking me like, oh, is that thing true about what they said about that? I'm like, no, it's not true. How did you fall for that? But like, these lies become so well funded and repeated. It's kind of a Nazi strategy, actually. Joseph Goebbels said, if you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. So just repeat the lies ad nauseum. And eventually, even some of the people who generally don't agree with you will start wondering if that's actually the case. And so let's get into 4 of the major lies happening right now as the election is right around the corner, and the Democrats have been saying for most of 2024, actually, they've been saying this election will be a referendum on abortion, meaning it's all about killing babies, baby. That's what they're saying. Okay, how about this lie? Women are dying because of pro-life laws, because Roe v. Wade got overturned. And so some states, they pretty much banned abortion. And so one of those abortions is a dilation and curettage. That's a D&C. But then, let's see, if your head is so far up your own rectum, it's coming out your face again, then you'll realize that a baby who's been miscarried, okay, so that's a miscarriage, and so the baby's tragically passed away, that you have to perform a D&C to remove the abortion, to remove the passed away baby. But wait a second, a D&C is an abortion procedural name. And so Missouri, who's banned abortion after the overturning of Roe v. Wade, I guess that means that abortionists and physicians are not allowed to remove the passed away dead fetus from a woman's uterus from a miscarriage. So miscarried babies are rotting in women's uteruses thanks to pro-life white Republicans. You'd have to be so stupid to believe that, and yet many people do. Or they fully know that it's a lie, but they're journalistic prostitutes on the payroll of Washington Post and the New York Times and the Atlantic. And so they're going to use the thing that they know is a lie to garner votes for their favorite candidate, who's the most pro-abortion politician and furthest left senator when she was a senator in American political history, and smear Orange Man bad. You have to be so dumb to believe that. But you know what's tragic is actually a lot of Americans are that dumb. We're not a very smart people anymore in America, are we? We're a pretty dumb people. Look no further than your local college or university. Okay, and I have the pleasure, displeasure, I'm not sure, to go speak on a lot of these college campuses. We do tabling events with the students, do a lecture in the evening, and it's pretty shocking how dumb the next generation of voters are, who all records show are going to be turning out quite large for Kamala Harris in November. No, it's not true that women are dying because of pro-life laws. There is not a pro-life law in America that prohibits a physician from performing a D&C when the baby has already miscarried and died in utero. Okay? That's it. There isn't a single pro-life law. Ask the pro-abortion trolls and liars saying that to show you which pro-life law prohibits that. Okay? Actually, here's the proof for you. Ready? Here on the Seth Gruber Show. Oh, wait. Before 1970, before a single state had legalized abortion, before there was a Roe versus Wade, when abortion was illegal in every state in America, did you know, wait a second, I know this is shocking, you could use a D&C procedure, a surgical procedure, to remove a dead baby who had already passed away in the uterus because of a miscarriage. Okay? That's literally, pro-life laws have never prevented physicians from doing emergency surgeries to remove a baby that's already miscarried. Because if you leave the dead baby in the uterus, it starts to cause infection, and the mom could die. The mom could get sepsis. And then the other one they say is women are dying because of pro-life laws if they have ectopic pregnancies. You know, when the baby implants in the fallopian tube rather than the uterine wall, and then the zygote, the little baby, starts growing in the fallopian tube. And so if you do nothing, the baby gets bigger. And so if you do nothing, the fallopian tube expands. And so eventually the fallopian tube bursts, the mom bleeds out internally, and the baby dies as well. It's pro-lifers who are doing that to women with ectopic pregnancies. BS once again. Horse manure. Okay? Horse poo-poo. That's also a lie. Okay? Anyone who refuses to provide surgical intervention in a state that has banned abortion for a woman who has an ectopic pregnancy or for a woman who has a miscarried baby should be sued for medical malfeasance. And the mom would win that case. The family would win that case. They're not the same. I just responded on X to a great clip from my buddy Charlie Kirk. He was on a university campus and he said abortion's never medically necessary to save mom's life, which is the next lie we're going to get into because they're actually related. And this person goes, what? And then Charlie's just getting attacked right now on X, on Twitter, by all these people saying, no, that's not true. That's not true. And I responded with a breakdown and a defense of how he was right and what he said. And someone literally responded to me and said, Seth, this is sloppy thinking. An abortion is needed in an ectopic pregnancy. No, it's not, because the surgical intervention that you would do to remove the baby from the fallopian tube is not called an abortion. Because an abortion, properly defined, means intentionally killing the baby in the womb. Removing the baby from the fallopian tube to save mom's life in an ectopic pregnancy is, wait, not an abortion. You perform a salpingectomy or a salpingostomy. You remove the baby from the fallopian tube, or you have to remove the entire fallopian tube. Hopefully you don't have to do that. Either way, it's not an abortion because your intent is to save the mother's life. The intent in every abortion is to kill the baby. So it's not an abortion. Wow. Oh my gosh. Was I homeschooled or something? How stupid do you have to be to believe these lies? And here's the thing, actually. I wish I could just attribute these lies to stupidity. But I don't want to be that rude. I want to think that our legacy news reporters who are speaking truth to power aren't that dumb. I'd like to believe and credit to them a slightly higher level of IQ than would be necessary to believe that. So I actually would rather respect them and attribute it to malice what I don't think I can attribute to stupidity. I think most of the higher ups pushing these lies through the media, journals, news, social media are just evil. It's not that they're stupid, you're just evil. So you need to counter these lies with the truth and expose these people for how evil that they are. But first, we want to thank our sponsor of the Seth Gruber Show, Every Life Diaper Company. Every Life Diaper. Every life matters, and it took Every Life to realize we need a pro-life diaper company because almost all of the rest of the major diaper companies and baby brands support abortion, rhetorically or financially. Wait a second, why would you help subsidize and encourage murdering your clients that are required to sell your product? Because that's the woke mind virus, y'all. Okay, to rebuild a culture of life, you need to fight with your wallet, which means you need to shop in alignment with your values. Get your baby wipes and diapers from everylife.com. Everylife.com. Promo code Seth10. Use promo code Seth10 for 10% off your first order and let them know that we sent you. And in so doing, you support us here at the Seth Gruber Show and the White Rose Resistance. But more importantly, help us bankrupt pro-abortion, anti-family companies that put the culture of death on steroids, okay? Everylife.com, promo code Seth10. Make sure your nursery at your church, your local pregnancy center, and anyone in your family or friends who are having babies get their diapers from Everylife.com, promo code Seth10. Thank you, Every Life, for supporting the Seth Gruber Show. They're willing to use the stories of women whose deaths could be used to sue for medical malfeasance in order to smear pro-lifers. Instead of saying, whatever doctor refused to perform that D&C to remove a baby that was already dead should be sued and you need to care for those women. No, they just become political fodder for the arguments of leftists to convince you not to vote for Trump or to vote for Kamala Harris. How disgusting. Here's the second lie that we're hearing this political season. They say abortion is sometimes necessary to save mom's life, right? And so they're saying that like the pro-life laws are preventing these procedures and that we need these abortions to save mom's life. So these lies are related, but they do deserve to sometimes be treated a little bit differently. So you'll hear people say like, oh, well, you know, in high risk, life endangering pregnancies, you've got to be able to perform an abortion to save mom's life. I mean, at least give us that, right? Like, surely you believe that, pro-lifer. No, abortion is never medically necessary to save mom's life. I'm not saying that you shouldn't intervene in some way to save mom's life. I'm saying that an abortion is not the intervention to save mom's life. To make this claim, listen, this is important. To make the claim that abortion is sometimes necessary to save mom's life, you have to have first assumed that abortion is safer than childbirth, or that childbirth is more dangerous for mom than the abortion. Now, abortion is never safe because, as it turns out, killing babies isn't safe. It's like saying, we need to make spousal abuse safe, legal, and rare. And you'd be like, anyone who says that spousal abuse is safe is a chauvinist, because I'm pretty sure the wife getting the snot beat out of her is not safe. It's like same thing, right? Abortion is not safe because I'm pretty sure the baby having their limbs ripped off their body is not safe. But when we talk about the safety, allegedly, of abortion, what that has generally meant in our very stupid sort of political discourse is the safety and life of the mother, okay? That in itself is a problem because the way we talk about abortion often ignores the existence of a separate human being bearing injuries that are lethal. But anyways, if to say abortion is sometimes necessary to save mom's life, you have to assume first that abortion is safer than childbirth, or can be safer than childbirth. Because if you didn't assume that abortion is safer than childbirth, then why would you recommend abortion as the intervention to save mom's life? Because what would be another way to end pregnancy and save mom's life? Childbirth. You see, so that's how you can end a pregnancy. You can deliver the baby. You can use Pitocin to induce early labor or perform a C-section. So just the claim that abortion is sometimes necessary to save mom's life means you have to have already assumed that abortion can be safer than childbirth. which is not the case. Is abortion safer than childbirth? No, it's not. It's not safer for the mother. Okay, so this claim is purely based on the fraudulent Raymond and Grimes study that allegedly found out that abortion is 14 times safer than childbirth. So you might have heard that claim before. Abortion is 14 times safer than childbirth. So, when you're pregnant, mom, if you care about your life and future and livelihood, it's always better to get an abortion for yourself than to give birth, meaning you're more likely to die from giving birth than you are from abortion. That's what they're arguing. Raymond and Grimes refused to listen to or submit a rebuttal to this study when contacted by David Reardon. David Reardon submitted a rebuttal to this fraudulent Raymond and Grimes study to Obstetrics and Gynecology, the journal that published the Raymond and Grimes study, and they refused to publish the rebuttal. And David Reardon had to go somewhere else to get his rebuttal paper submitted. That kind of already tells you, right? By the way, the truth is never afraid of a lie, but the lie is always deathly afraid of the truth. If abortion is so obviously safer than childbirth for the mother, then why wouldn't an Obstetrics and Gynecology journal publication publish a rebuttal study and let the people decide? If what you're saying is so obviously true, I'm sure all of the American people will come to adopt your position about the alleged safety of abortion for moms, right? No. See? The truth is never afraid of a lie, but the lie is always deathly afraid of the truth. This Raymond and Grimes paper is the only source and citation that's cited by the left, the culture, the abortion industry, to say abortion, it's safer than giving birth for moms. And they say it's 14 times safer than childbirth. This study is deeply flawed because they treat abortion mortality and childbirth mortality as equivalent statistics when they are not. And because the statistics regarding abortion mortality are woefully inadequate and incomplete. Raymond and Grimes also ignored data from Finland. Now, this is hilarious, right? Because the left's always talking about socialized medicine, universal health care, run by the government, run by the state. Well, I'm not a fan of that, turns out. But it does give the government good control on the data because they run the healthcare industry. So in Finland, with socialized medicine and more comprehensive and accurate reporting, I guess, they found the opposite, okay? They found that abortion is 4 times more deadly and dangerous to pregnant mothers than childbirth. So the left always is yapping about like socialized medicine. Okay, well, here we go. Here's data from Finland on abortion that says abortion is not 14 times safer than childbirth for mothers. It's 4 times more dangerous than childbirth for mothers. Oh, so strangely silent about socialized medicine, huh? Now, interesting. Also, the Raymond and Grimes study, this fraudulent fake study that says abortion is 14 times safer than childbirth, they also ignored the California database of 170,000 Medicaid patients that showed increased mortality, depression, suicide, substance abuse, and other problems for women who have had abortions as compared to women who have not. Now, why is the abortion industry unable to claim that abortion is safer than childbirth? Because maternal mortality and abortion mortality statistics are different statistics used by the CDC for different purposes. Maternal mortality is every death that occurs from the beginning of pregnancy until 6 weeks after the end of the pregnancy, regardless of cause. This, by definition, includes all abortion mortality. Now, all 50 states accurately report maternal mortality statistics, but 22 states report nothing about abortion mortality. And the 28 states that require abortion mortality reporting do not enforce it. Now, when I talk about abortion mortality, obviously abortion is always has mortality because the baby's dead. But once again, just so you understand what like they're talking about and what I'm talking about, when we talk about abortion mortality, we mean women who died as a result of abortion, okay? So as a result, abortion mortality and complication statistics cannot be considered accurate or complete in any way. The Raymond and Grimes paper that claims abortion is 14 times safer than childbirth is uber deeply crazy flawed because they treat abortion mortality and childbirth mortality as equivalent statistics when they are not. And because the statistics regarding abortion mortality are woefully inadequate and incomplete. So that is some of the, I guess, like statistical flaws in the background for why the abortion industry cannot claim with any kind of credibility or fact-driven data that abortion is safer for moms than giving birth to the baby. So abortion is not safer than childbirth. Additionally, this is sort of interesting. Dr. Thomas Murphy Goodwin, who I think ran the largest prenatal health clinic in the world at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center at USC. He might still be there. He sees 15,000 women a year who are told by their primary care physician that if they don't abort, they will die or have incredibly serious complications to their health. Of the 15,000 that he sees a year, he says only 1 to 2 cases a year require ending the pregnancy to save the mother's life or health from a grave health risk, okay? So listen to that again, okay? This guy runs the largest prenatal health clinic in the world in LA or Hollywood at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. And he says he sees 15,000 women a year who are told by their primary care physician that if they don't abort, they will die or risk death. He says of those 15,000, only about 1 or 2 of those pregnant women actually require ending the pregnancy to save mom's life. And by ending the pregnancy, he doesn't even mean abortion. He means inducing early labor to deliver the baby or perform a C-section. Delivery over abortion. Delivery ends the pregnancy. Abortion ends the pregnancy. Delivery is the way to protect mom's life. Abortion is the way to endanger mom's life. Delivery honors the life of the baby. Abortion murders the baby. Okay, abortion isn't the only way to end pregnancy. Newsflash, newsflash. So even the people that we hear saying, you have to perform an abortion to save mom's life. Well, one of the experts in caring for preemies and for caring for pregnant women says, actually, in the vast majority of cases, that's not the case. Okay, so that's the second and third lie. They're kind of all connected. Abortion is not necessary to save mom's life, and abortion is not safer than childbirth. So for you pro-abortion hacks, if you care about the life and health care of moms, right? I thought you say abortion's health care. You're in the business of health care, women's health, right? Reproductive health care. Why don't you tell the truth to the women that you use as pawns to continue to make money, that they should always deliver baby, because that'll be safer for their life and health in the long term. I just did a deep dive on all of this on my friend Alex Clark's new podcast. She's with Turning Point USA, called Culture Apothecary. Great new show. She was like #1 in iTunes in the health and fitness category recently. Go check out Culture Apothecary. We did an over hour-long conversation on how abortion leads to increased risks of mental health, preterm delivery, and breast cancer. So we even went further down kind of the rabbit hole, if you will, on abortion's negative impact on the health and livelihood of women following an abortion. So that's sort of the second lie, and third lie. They're kind of all related there. Okay, and here's the last one I wanted to talk about, because this happened at the presidential debate between Kamala Harris and Trump, and we touched on it in an episode responding to the debate, but I wanted to talk a little bit more about it and bring a little bit more proof and rigor, okay? Here's the fourth major lie we're hearing right now in this election season, okay, to lie people into voting for Kamala Harris. They say late-term abortions, third trimester, full-term abortions, yeah, that's a myth. Yeah, they don't happen. That doesn't happen. Third trimester abortions in the 9th month, in the 8th month, that's a fiction. That's a myth, actually. Those never happen. And and this was said at the presidential debate. This gets said almost every time Trump brings up full-term abortions or like infanticide, right? We've talked about that with Tim Walz in Minnesota, removing a reporting requirement for the state to report if a baby was born alive during a botched failed abortion. He said you don't have to report that. He changed the law. We know that 7 to 9 babies died on cold steel tables in Minnesota who were born alive during a failed abortion. And you don't have to report the fact anymore. That's called infanticide. And they said at the debate that doesn't happen either. Okay, so firstly, I have this friend. His name's AJ Hurley. He actually works for the White Rose Resistance. And I recall him holding 5 full-term, third trimester aborted babies that him and some friends received from a medical waste management driver outside the DuPont all-trimester abortion clinic in downtown Washington, D.C., and the medical waste management driver didn't know that he was picking up aborted babies. He thought he was picking up like surgical center waste. So he gave the aborted babies to some pro-lifers, and 5 of them were full term, or third trimester. That's so crazy that I have a friend whose pictures I've seen of him holding third trimester aborted babies, because I thought it was a myth and never happened. That's interesting. Also, we have a graphic here from the Guttmacher Institute from their 2021 figures that show 81% of abortions in the U.S. healthcare system occurred at 9 weeks of pregnancy or earlier, and 94% occurred in the first 13 weeks. And then you see here on the graph, it says about 1% or 0.9% after 21 weeks, okay? So that would be late-term abortions. Now, someone, okay, well, oh, that's weird. Wait, I can see how many abortions happened in late term, but I thought they didn't happen. Now, someone might say, well, see, what I meant is they hardly never happen, Seth, okay? I didn't mean they never happen. I just mean they almost never happen. And when they happen to save mom's life. Oh, wait, we already debunked that myth. Abortion's never medically necessary to save mom's life. Now, how many abortions happen roughly, average, a year? 1 million, okay? Last year was a little over 1 million. So let's just say 1 million babies are killed. So what's 1% of 1 million? 10,000. So I understand, like, when you say 1%, you're thinking, like, oh, that's not very much. Well, when you kill 1 million babies a year, small percentages represent very large numbers. 10,000? Can you imagine if that was 9/11? How many people died in 9/11, by the way? Wasn't it 1,200? Wasn't it 1,200 people? It's like this horrific day in American history. 10,000 babies a year killed in late trimester, late term, when they could have just been born alive and be adopted out? 10,000, that's a lot. That's a big number. Oh, I thought they never happened, though. I mean, Democrats, abortion leaders, politicians, they've been saying this for years. Third trimester abortions never happen. Late-term abortions are a myth. Well, what weird. I have Planned Parenthood Statistical Research Branch data right here, citing the CDC. And as you know, from 2020, you can always trust 3-letter agencies. At least that's what the left says. So I'm just going to go with that. There they are. How funny. Also, the Guttmacher Institute has reported in previous years that late trimester abortions after 20 weeks were as high as 1.3%. 1.3%, which would be 12,000 post-viability aborted babies. So the graph I had there was just like 2021. But in some years, the Guttmacher Institute has reported 1.3% or higher, okay? Now, to gain a sense of perspective, that number is comparable to the number of murders committed by firearms in the same time period. So for all the people talking about how guns are the deadliest thing to American children, no, actually it's forceps and abortion pills that are the most dangerous thing to American children. However, about 10 to 12,000 of those children killed every year are killed in the third trimester or after viability. Now, I have a Guttmacher article and study here from Perspectives on Sexual and Reproductive Health called Who Seeks Abortions at or After 20 Weeks from November 2013. Once again, the Guttmacher Institute is Planned Parenthood Statistical Research Branch. And, interesting. Here's a line from this study that I've read through for you. It says, data suggests that most women seeking late terminations are not doing so for reasons of fetal anomaly or life endangerment. Oh, wow. Planned Parenthood's research branch just said that the vast majority of late trimester abortions are not being done to save mom's life. But you guys told me in the presidential debate of 2016, of 2020, of 2024 with Kamala Harris and Trump, that the only reason late trimester abortions are ever done is because mom's about to die. But your own research branch says that data suggests that women taking late-term abortions, they're not doing so because they're about to die. Wow. Turns out that those that murder children are really good at lying. Let's continue. Here's a graphic from a teaching module published by an abortion training program at the University of California, San Francisco. This is a graph from their study saying reasons for abortion after 16 weeks from last menstrual period. Okay, after 16 weeks. So that's not yet at fetal viability, but that is later term. Remember, the 2021 graphic from Guttmacher Institute shows the super majority of abortions being done are being done in the first 13 weeks, right? 2021, 94% occurred in the first 13 weeks, okay? So just by like percentages, anything after that would be later term. So the University of California, San Francisco has a Bixby Center at UCSF. Guess what? It's their late-term abortion training, classroom, like program. This, if you want to be a late-term abortionist who kills babies in the late trimester, you go to UCSF, University of California, San Francisco, okay? And they reveal that the physical health of mothers is almost never given as a reason to why a woman aborts after the first trimester, okay? And we have the graph here from the late-term abortion training capital, certainly of America, but perhaps of the world, okay? and they say, yeah, the mom, you know, her physical health, basically never a reason for why a mom gets an abortion. Interesting, okay? And then, of course, to counter the lie that late-term abortions never happen or a myth, you can just go to abortionist websites that advertise, late-term abortions, okay? Here's Warren Hearn in Boulder, Colorado. He's advertised as, late-term abortion specialist. Oh, that's so weird, because I thought the Democrats told me that never happens. Oh, that's interesting. And then a guy who died about a year or two ago, named Leroy Carhart. Here's his website. And it says, oh, look at that, on abortionclinics.org in Nebraska, where he used to operate. Oh, there it is. We highlighted it. Third trimester abortions available after 27 weeks. Oh, wow, but I thought those never happened. So why would the abortion industry be advertising it on abortionist websites? I hope I'm not beating a dead horse here. Do you understand? They're just lying to you. Late-term abortions happen. What was really a kick right after the Kamala Harris and Trump debate was when a pro-lifer called a local abortion center in a deeper blue state and requested a late trimester abortion and recorded the phone call. The abortion clinic's like, yep, when can you come in? We'll schedule you right now. I thought those never happened. Okay, so that's that. We've successfully debunked the myth that third trimester, full-term, late trimester abortions never happen. They do happen. They're advertised. They're very profitable, and you can make a ton of money because the larger the baby, the more money an abortionist charges you to kill the baby, okay? So women are not dying because of pro-life laws. Abortion is never medically necessary to save mom's life. Abortion is not safer than childbirth. And full-term, late-term abortions do happen in America, and they're totally legal in more Democrat blue-run states. There you go. We just triggered the entire social media space, okay? Share this. Get the truth out there. Counter these lies. It's going to take every one of us and you listening to this to push back. When you hear these lies, just raise your voice, okay? Write down some of these talking points, okay? And show them to people. Let's make sure that no one is voting for the party of death next month because they believe some of these stupid lies about the pro-life movement or pro-life laws. Okay? All right. Thank you guys. Head on over to iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. Give the show a rating and review. Let us know what you think. Join us as an ally at the White Rose Resistance. Go to thewhiterose.life and join us at $35 a month or more, and you get your battle box in the mail. You can join our book club at $70 a month. You get a free ticket to Life or Death Con on January 23rd in Washington, D.C. with Eric Metaxas and Ali Bestucky and many more. If you are a $35 a month donor or more of the White Rose Resistance, and get your pastor in church to host a screening of the 1916 Project and pick up the book by the same name by going to the1916project.com. Until next week, I'm Seth Gruber, and this is The Seth Gruber Show.